Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, April 5th, 2019. I'm Jennifer Richardson with the details. The bedrock of the region's security is its continued cooperation with the international community, including countries like the United States, Canada, and the European Union. So says Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves during his remarks at today's opening ceremony for the 2019 Regional Security System Council of Ministers meeting held at the Beachcombers Hotel. The meeting brought together regional leaders from RSS participating countries, as well as local law enforcement officers, U.S. military personnel, as well as high commissions from Canada and Britain. The meeting was held to discuss issues relating to the sustainable funding of the RSS and the strengthening of regional security through cooperation. Prime Minister Gonsalves, who is the chairman of the RSS Council of Ministers, said while the circumstances which led to the creation of the RSS no longer exist, there are new challenges being faced worldwide, such as terrorism and trafficking in people, drugs, and weapons. PM Gonsalves said, given the many challenges, it is of crucial importance that the region continues to partner with the international community to tackle these issues.
In security terms, and I think it's a very important with these countries I've just mentioned. Because the Caribbean, including the countries which make up the RSS, because we have a multiple of socio and economic relationships and political relationships with a number of other countries globally, as it is necessary for us to utilize the instruments of sovereignty and independence to come to terms more efficaciously with our external environment, within the interest of our people's humanization. We have those relations, socio-economic and even political terms. The bedrock of our security rests with our cooperation with the United States of America, with Britain, with Canada, with France, Holland, and the rest of the European Union. I think this is fundamental.
In addition, PM Gonsalves said one must avoid turning the RSS into what he called a matter of continuing university seminars. He said security is paramount to the region and called on his colleagues to make impactful decisions to ensure the safety of all citizens.
We have to have a clear idea as to how we are going forward. We are not writing papers to get an A for our masters or a doctoral dissertation and so forth. Important as all that is, and we know them and we are informed by them all the time. We have to take the decisions and we have to have the will to follow through with them and to work together with all the various partners. I'm happy to see that the CDB is engaged with us with this. The Caribbean Development Bank is our premier financial institution, and I'm happy to see that they recognize that security, citizen security, and our region security is an important cross-cutting developmental issue. Because in order for us to enjoy life, living, and to enhance production, we have to be safe and we have to be secure and we have to be uncompromising on this matter.
Meanwhile, Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley said, though the region faces unique challenges, it must handle its issues which are within its control. She said the issue of crime and corruption must be addressed and expressed hope that the results of the meeting will foster a safer and secure region.
The influx of illicit guns is not beyond our control, but continues to hold us to ransom because of porous boundaries and because of an inability of those who manufacture guns and spread the use of guns to believe that this is effectively the new currency of the region. I trust and pray that this RSS meeting therefore will take decisions that will allow us first and foremost to fight corruption and to do so in a manner and an institutional framework that does not undermine the integrity of our states, but that allows us to strengthen our hand, recognizing that in small societies everyone knows each other. And in small societies, the ability therefore to fight those who we must fight is constrained by the sociology of that smallness. With those few words, therefore, I thank you for the opportunity to be here and look forward to our being able to make decisions of an enduring nature for the benefit of our people. Thank you.
Vice President of Operation at the Caribbean Development Bank, Monica Labinet, said maritime security is not simply about law enforcement, but an important precondition to unlocking the potential of the blue economy. Labinet, who was making remarks at the opening ceremony of the 2019 RSS Council of Ministers meeting, said a CDB report done in 2018 concluded that the blue economy can effectively contribute to deeper growth and sustainable development in the region. She said maritime security should be looked at as an enabler to the potential which the blue economy possesses.
Importantly, the water within our common maritime space facilitates over 90% of the movement of goods within the sub-region. There is further evidence of intrinsic links between maritime security and economic development in the Eastern Caribbean, in those areas where commercial shipping, cruise tourism, fisheries, and other offshore undertakings are major economic activities. Maritime security, therefore, can be regarded as an important enabler to the blue economy through safeguarding navigation routes and protecting rights over valuable marine resources and activities within claim zones of maritime jurisdiction. An expanded blue economy will create increased demand for maritime security capabilities, triggering further investment and growth in these capacities.
Meanwhile, Executive Secretary of the Inter-American Committee Against Terrorism in the OAS, Alison Trippel, said the enhanced maritime security is a matter of urgency region-wide. She said as such, the OAS has been working to boost the capacity of all member states in this regard. Trippel encouraged regional leaders to ensure that all initiatives involving maritime security are properly coordinated.
We believe that one of the biggest and most persistent obstacles to securing the maritime domain lies in the fact that it remains, by and large, a fragmented space, with many different actors engaged in a wide range of activities that are often interrelated, but effectively separate, and not always fully coordinated. To address and change this reality, we think that one of the most worthwhile efforts that any government can undertake is to try to coordinate and integrate all of its maritime and port security-related initiatives, investments, and systems across the whole of the maritime domain. There are a number of ways to do this, including the formation of national committees or bodies to facilitate interagency dialogue and communication.
Trippel added that the OAS is also working to ensure that member states create what she calls a whole sector approach for maritime security.
Our aim is to work with OAS member states to socialize this idea that a whole of government, or better yet, a whole of sector approach is a necessary step to achieving real maritime security. And so we are working with governments to initiate a process to bring stakeholders together, public as well as private, to begin to discuss and eventually flesh out the kind of strategy or national policy framework that can enable the whole of sector approach. And as Prime Minister Motley so eloquently stated earlier this morning, we are encouraging a process by which conversation and coordination is the daily course of business.
The ruling Unity Labour Party is seeking to have more young candidates who will help move the party forward and win the next general elections. This was indicated at last evening's celebration rally for the party's 18 years in government held at Heritage Square, where supporters were also reminded of the work being undertaken by the administration to move SVG forward. Larissa Pugsley tells us more in this report.
Following Thursday's march from the party's head office on Morris Road through the streets of capital Kingstown, supporters of the ruling Unity Labour Party gathered at Heritage Square, where the MPs and candidates for the various constituencies were given the opportunity to address the party supporters. Prospective candidate for the Central Leeward constituency on the ULP ticket for the upcoming general elections around Brewster was introduced to the gathering by party leader Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who said Brewster was highly recommended by the current MP for Central Leeward, Sir Louis Straker. Brewster made it clear that he was ready to take over.
The youths of St. Vincent for 2020 will show the new Democratic Party what it means to be red and ready. So Louis came to Central Leeward in the year 1994. And the last election, I heard something about the man that was set from the other side. But that man has done great work in Central Leeward. And it's now time for me to step up to the plate to continue the marvelous work that has been going on in Central Leeward.
Another prospective candidate who was introduced but did not speak was historian Curtis King. The party's general secretary said that they are looking to get a young, fresh blood to take the party forward and for the next general elections.
You got some old man in this party, like Ralph Gonsalves, Montgomery Daniel, Sir Louis Straker, Julian Francis. Them old man there for move out just now. So we making space for the younger ones, and you see the quality of men and women we bringing for y'all.
Supporters were told to be prepared for another victory at the polls. However, they must ensure their vote. Leader of the party, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, listed the many changes and developments that have taken place under his administration, including increase in wages and salaries, house lot distribution, construction boom, employment opportunities, among others.
We're listening overseas to say to them that the state of the Union, the state of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is sound. And we are developing well. We have a compelling developmental narrative, and progress is being made in the interest of the people.
The opposition New Democratic Party, NDP, did not escape the wrath of the ULP leader, who said that he is now even more confident of winning the next general election.
Friday could get challenge, give me. That's like a flyweight challenging Muhammad Ali. So I wouldn't even bother on Friday with his foolishness. He talk a lot of nonsense that day, which show him as a weak person being led by 20, 30, 40 rabble. Julian says he's sorry for them, and then he don't sorry. I don't sorry for them at all. I heard him saying that by calling this meeting, he don't know what we're protesting against, but we ain't protesting, we're celebrating. You notice Friday?
General elections here in SVG are widely expected to take place next year. Reporting for SVG-TV News, Larissa Pogsley-Kidd.
Several of the party's MPs and candidates who spoke at last evening's rally said the people of SVG can expect to see more programs and projects rolled out to their benefit.
For 2020, we are going to have 1,000 acres of cocoa in this country, and we're exporting one of the best chocolates in the entire world. Comrades, when you're 18 years old, you have to start to boast. Because you're no longer a child, you're a big man. You could vote. For the last 2 years, comrades, we have witnessed over a 100% increase in the exportation of fish. Over 100 jobs were created by the fisheries centers which were leased. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are sending live lobsters from our country because we have the Argyle International Airport.
18 years, the government has built up the economy and in the process reduced poverty and inequality. In the last 18 years, the government has carried out a far-reaching education revolution, and it is not done yet. In the last 18 years, the government has made significant progress with respect to healthcare.
Looked and see how we converted schools to make sure that children enter secondary school. You remember how many used to go in when common entrance? Now every child, as long as you reach that age, you are going into a secondary school. Don't take it for granted. And many of you with your children at the community college, look at the size of the college now. Look at the subjects. Look at the faculty. Look at the universities that lining up to work with our community college. We coming in stronger.
Doesn't talk like Luke Brown talk about new clinics in Bocament, in Mespo, in Chateau, down in Union, and a magnificent new hospital in Georgetown. That is not a weary party. That is a party that is just getting started in the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We came in, we met a deep, deep hole left with us by the New Democratic Party, and we dug this country out of the hole.
The election petitions challenging the results of 2 constituencies in the December 2015 general elections were also brought up by several of the speakers who criticized the opposition New Democratic Party, the NDP, for fighting what they term a losing cause.
The basic elements were missing. And it was no surprise that all of the lies and innuendos that they put into the pleadings of the petition, when they got to the court, first it was Justice Cottle. The judge tell them, well, we're all agreeing with this thing here. Go waste court's time. I would advise that you withdraw this thing. They called the judge biased. Well, we bring in a new judge. A judge who is not from St. Vincent. An independent person who came to adjudicate of the hearing of the petitions. And when the man came back with his judgment, he said, I see no basis for granting the petitioners what they are asking for in their pleadings. It was a complete waste of time. But one of the things, you know, comrades, I know the comrades in Central Leeward are very quiet. They didn't say anything while the petitions were going on. And I asked the comrades in Central Leeward, why are we remain quiet?
In all of the polling stations, you have to show that your finger is free and clear of any ink whatsoever, so that you may not have voted before. But comrades, I want to say to you that they can go high, they can go low. They can go to any court. 27 is much more than 23. 2,700 is much more than 2,300 in any form or fashion. And so, whatever they are carrying to the court, in my view, it's fraught, or I say fraught, F-R-O-T-H. I say fraud or nonsense. Comrades, irregardless of their challenge, I want to say to you, whenever the roll is called, North Windward will be there to answer. North Windward will answer anytime the roll is called.
The government today announced changes in the retail prices of liquefied petroleum gas, or LPG cooking gas, with a decrease registered across the board. A release from the Agency for Public Information said the change in the retail prices, which is effective immediately was ordered by the Governor General in exercise of the powers conferred by the Price and Distribution of Goods Act. The price for a 20-pound cylinder in Area 1, which includes communities from Kingstown to Arnes Vale on the windward side and Kingstown to Lomans Leeward on the leeward side of the island, registered a decrease of $2.80, moving from $37.46 to $34.66. A similar decrease was registered for Area 2, northeast to Langley Park and the northwest to Curtains, with the price moving from $38.46 to $35.66. Area 3, which includes communities outside of Areas 1 and 2, registered a similar reduction of $2.80, moving from $39.46 to $36.66. In Area 4, which is the Grenadines, there is a reduction of $3.30, with the price of a 20-pound cylinder moving from $42.96 to $39.66. The price for a 25-pound cylinder also registered a decrease of $3.49 in Areas 1, 2, and 3. And in Area 1, the price moved from $42.57 to $42.08. In Area 2, $46.56 to $43.08. In Area 3, $47.57 to $44.08. And in Area 4, the price moved from $50.57 to $47.08. A reduction of $14 in the price of a 100-pound cylinder has been registered for Areas 1, 2, 3, and 4. Global climate change is the most serious sustainable development challenge facing the world, and it is important for small island states such as St. Vincent and the Grenadines to understand its science in order to build resilience against its effects. So says Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Raymond Ryan, as he spoke at the launch of the Resilient Environment, Agriculture and Caribbean Habitat REACH project at a roundtable ceremony yesterday at the Methodist Church Hall. The launch served to sensitize the public on the REACH project, as well as to identify challenges and best practices in the implementation of data collection systems to support local farmers. Ryan said SVG has seen the effects of climate change, which has had adverse impact on the natural environment and the economy. He said it is important to design projects to build resilience, which must be guided by accurate data collection and interpretation.
And to formulate and implement cost-effective policies and measures to ensure that the risks posed by a changing climate to national development prospects are significantly reduced. In particular, there is a need to incorporate change in the national development planning process while building a sound understanding of climate science, and I think this is why we're here today. Accurate data collection, collation, analysis, and interpretation are essential to establish a sound basis for decision making geared towards improving the management, mitigation, prevention, and preparedness capability of the agricultural, fisheries, livestock sectors to deal with climate change. Over the years,
also speaking at the launching ceremony was a local representative of the Food and Agriculture Organization, Dr. Colleen Phillips, who also identified data collection as critical to build resilience against the impact of climate change. She said this approach allows for the creation of linkages between organizations which share the same goal. Dr. Phillips said the REACH project allows for greater collaboration between various entities, technicians, and farmers.
It is true that we have seen the impacts of extreme rain, extreme drought, pest and disease outbreaks. We've seen the need for us to put structures in place, put systems in place to try and minimize the impact. The strengthening of that technical cooperation or or the institutional cooperation would help us precisely in that. It's important for us, for the farmers to understand, for us to understand the farmers, and for the farmers to understand what we are trying to do. And this particular REACH endeavor would hopefully help with that.
The 2019 edition of the Digicel SVG Gospelfest will be officially opened this Sunday, April 7th at the Victoria Park from 6 p.m. The festival, which started in 2003 and is now into its 17th year, has become a major event on the national calendar and showcases Vincentian gospel expressions in music, song, dance, and drama.